scratching his chin stubble while zooming in on Megan and the unmarked black sedan parked behind her. The queen of manipulation had once again exploited her father's political connections and gained access to restricted military space. Brenden wasn't surprised to see the pretty blonde waving to him with a perfect Miss America smile. Ever since he'd arrived back home from Beirut 3 months ago, Megan had become desperate. She started bringing up the M word, kids, and everything spelling future in bright lights, none of which he wanted, all of which had led to their separation. Even now, the sight of her at the gate, coupled with knowing her father was sitting inside the car next to her, reaffirmed his stance. Brenden would easily give up his night of quiet reflection to attend Tariq's shindig. Brenden shrugged. "You want me to come chew the fat with you knuckleheads?" He chuckled, knowing a night out with the boys was definitely what he needed after this mission and before the next. Besides, bringing in the new year with the woman who was no longer his girlfriend was not an option. "I'm in." Brenden ignored the heckling from his men as he took to a light jog to greet Megan. The petite woman rushed the gate and out of nowhere threw herself into Brendan's stiff arms. His half hug made her cling harder to his 6'4", muscle-clad frame that always dominated her slender daintiness. "I missed you. Did you miss me?" she asked, pressing herself too close for comfort. "Why are you here, Megan?" He stepped back and stared into her blue eyes. Her pouty lips proved she still thought the breakup was one of their many timeouts. Before she could answer, the rear passenger side door of the black sedan popped open. Her father, Senator Beau Franks, unfolded his long, slender body from the back seat and came to where Brenden stood with Megan. One look from the senator turned Megan into a contrite teen who'd had her privileges revoked. Without a goodbye, she climbed into the waiting car. "Brenden, my boy," Senator Franks greeted him with a handshake as he gave a fleeting once-over of his waiting car. "My daughter hasn't taken the breakup well. I admit, I had hoped to see our families united. However, that isn't why I'm here." The senator peered in the distance, then returned his attention to Brenden. "As you may know, the Senate Armed Services Committee is investigating the arms deal we made with our coalition partners in the East. The analysis I just sat through hasn't convinced me that we're on the wrong side of this. I want to avoid politicizing the issue. You've always been a straight shooter and your team is on the front line. What should I know before convening a session with my committee?" Brendan's vision narrowed and flashed to red, slicing the senator into pieces he wanted to throw away. "You're allowing American weapons manufacturers to sell to our so-called allies, but then they turn around and distribute those same weapons to our enemies. So you disapprove." "I question your and the committee's view of national security." Brenden stared into the senator's growing red face. Did he see anger or frustration? He didn't give a fuck. Not after intel confirmed he and his men had targets on their backs from the work they were doing to disrupt black market weapons deals with rebel militias. The policy coming out of D.C. impacted the lives of all who fell under his command and the success of Operation Jackal's Lair, an impending top-secret mission. The weapons being sold to coalition partners are issued to rebel forces and then used in attacks against us. Look at me. Brenden stepped into the man's personal space. "I just got off a fucking chopper. I'm blood-stained, sweaty, and dirty as shit. Haven't had a shower in 2 days. But you and those members on your committee slept safe and sound last night." "Brenden, we appreciate everything you and your men do for this country." Brenden lifted his cap, attempting to finger-comb his matted hair. His narrow gaze went from the senator to the shadow of Megan behind the tinted window. Again, he should have been surprised, but he wasn't. Time had shown that the Franks family had no interest in his well-being unless it benefited theirs, and right now their only concern was the senator's political capital. Forget that Brenden needed to employ self-care and decompress his mind. "Do me a favor." Brenden began walking backward so he could face the man who still blamed him for his family's unhappiness. "Never come here again like this, and never try to use me as a pawn in whatever political game you're playing." He then turned